Hello everyone, in this video I am going to talk about the just war theory. The concept of a just war refers to the idea that there are certain circumstances under which going to war is morally justifiable. The idea of a just war has been developed over centuries by philosophers and theologians, and it is based on the belief that war is a last resort and that it must be conducted in a way that minimizes harm and respects the rights of all parties involved. Just war initially came into being as a coherent body of thinking and practice during the Middle Ages as a byproduct of canon law and theology. It has roots in classical Roman and biblical Hebraic culture and contains both religious and secular aspects. Military leaders, theologians, ethicists, and decision makers all study the just war theory. The doctrine's goal is to ensure that a war is morally justifiable by outlining a set of requirements that must all be satisfied for a war to be deemed just. One of the key principles of a just war is the idea of just cause. This principle states that war can only be justified if it is in response to an act of aggression or if it is necessary to prevent a greater harm from occurring. For example, a war to defend against an invading army would be considered a just cause, while a war to conquer territory would not. The principle of right intention. This principle states that the ultimate goal of a war must be to restore peace and security, rather than to seek revenge or gain territory. The principle of last resorts states that all peaceful means of resolving a conflict must be exhausted before resorting to war. This principle is intended to ensure that war is not used as a first option and that all other options have been considered. The principle of proportionality states that the potential harm caused by a war must be proportionate to the potential good that it can achieve. This principle is intended to ensure that harm caused by a war is not greater than the harm that it is intended to prevent. The principle of discrimination states that the war must be conducted in a way that distinguishes between combatants and non-combatants. This principle is intended to protect civilians and other non-combatants from harm. The principle of right authority states that the legitimate authorities have the right to declare and conduct war. This principle is intended to ensure that wars are not conducted by rogue actors or groups. Those who oppose the just war theory may have a tighter pacifist standard, arguing that there has never been and never will be a reasonable justification for war.